Hello. Just a note, I have admittedly been having some technical difficulties. If I bring it into the slideshow mode, it will not show the slides while I'm recording, and while I'm screen sharing. So I will have to leave it in this format. Apologies. I know it doesn't look the best, but I am just kind of trying to work with the technological issues. I'm not the most tech savvy, so I'm just kind of trying to figure it out. But anywho, um, hello, I am Ray Karen, and for my Picture an Ecologist project, I chose J. Edward de Steiger. De Steiger is currently the professor of natural resource economics and policy, as well as watershed management and ecohydrology at the University of Arizona. I became interested in de Steiger because he was a pioneering voice on wild Mustang management in the Western United States. He had been described by multiple sources as an avid horse person. And as another avid horse person, I was really interested in what he did, namely because I have a special interest in the kind of Midwest area of the United States because I hope to work in a national park there someday, and because I hope to rehome and retrain one or more wild Mustangs at some point in my life. So De Steiger is right up my alley. He's the author of The Age of Environmentalism and Wild Horses of the West, which helped shed light on the issues that he covers. And his research focuses, according to the University of Arizona, on political, economic, and social aspects of the public lands of the American West, specifically the management of these public lands and the animals that live on it. So, most people have heard about Mustangs in the American West, but what a lot of people don't know is that horses actually are not native to the Americas. They were brought over by Spanish settlers. In the modern day, they are stewarded by the Bureau of Land Management, and while they are a staple of the American West, they are, in fact, invasive species. Wild Mustangs, in their current very populated state, negatively impact a lot of rangeland. They destroy a lot of brush through overgrazing because of their large populations. The areas that they frequently travel are have a lot of soil compaction because of the repeated, trotting over that same patch of land. And Mustangs also contribute to water depletion in the Midwest, as the large herds will move through and just drink all of the available water. They also have a rapidly growing population that far exceeds carrying capacity. Currently, the population is at almost double the land's carrying capacity, which negatively impacts both the environment and the Mustangs themselves. And so actions have been taken to mitigate damage, specifically in the form of roundups. So the BLM multiple times a year will catch large groups of wild horses and try to rehome them. This can be done in ways like the Mustang makeover, which is kind of its own thing in the horse world, or they can be sold at auctions to be retrained. However, roundups are fairly controversial mainly because the methods that they use in the modern day cause the horses a lot of stress. As you can see in the photo, this group of horses is being rounded up by a helicopter, which is terrifying for these animals. And when you are moving such a large volume of large animals under such immense stress, unfortunately, injuries to the horses are unavoidable. They are prey animals and they are prone to injuring themselves and one another when they are truly stressed. So, lastly, horses that are not rehomed are often sent to slaughter, which has resulted in a lot of backlash surrounding the roundups. The BLM actually gets hundreds of thousands of letters and emails and petitions demanding that they stop the roundups entirely. But these are mostly sent in by people who don't know the specifics of the environmental situation, and that if we leave these horses to endlessly graze this rangeland, they are going to completely overpopulate and potentially go extinct if they completely run out of resources. So this is where de Steiger comes in. He was one of the leading voices in advocating for other methods of population control aside from roundups. And after conducting a lot of research on population dynamics, he suggested that the BLM should work with fertility control instead of trying to minimize pre-existing populations by capturing adults and rehoming them. So the Mustang growth rate is currently at 20%, which is ridiculous. considering their already huge population. But as de Steiger suggested, this could be offset drastically if the BLM uses DART birth control in towards reducing fertility in mares. If they stop mares from having foals, if they stop the female horses from having lots and lots of babies, they can mitigate the damage done to both the environment and the horse populations due to overpopulation. This presents some challenges as wild horses are not easy to handle. So that's why de Steiger suggested the DART birth control method, which essentially people will ride out to the herds and use dart guns aimed at the mares to inject that birth control into their bloodstream so that they can reduce the fertility of those mares. So de Steiger's impact overall, these methods have started to be integrated into the BLM's policies, although they are still in the very early stages. But de Steiger was one of the loudest and most prominent voices in helping to find other methods of control for these growing Mustang populations. Here are my works cited. Thank you very much.